Hey everybody, this is the Wombo podcast. I'm Chick Monk. With me as always the Mr. Gimpy.
What up, bro? Did you forget your name?
Yeah, a little bit, dude. I don't know. It's been a while, dude. We took some time off, dude. Everything's slipping, dude.
It's been a minute. Yeah,
we
man.
have Mother's Day. We have vacation, dude.
Mother's Day vacation. Then the other week we both. I was dealing with allergies. Think you were sick as well. So it's just like I can't.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going back to bed, dude. I can't deal with this.
Yeah,
like,
right. Then,
I got up and I looked around. I was like, I see you weren't on, and I was like, all right, perfect. Then I was just like, hey man, I'm going back to bed.
I just had like a humidifier going next week, so I assumed I was sick. It was just like really intense allergies, and
yeah, man, it's great.
Good now.
Getting some rain.
Yeah, exactly. It was that time without the rain.
There's also smoke.
Like,
there's like fires up north.
Yeah.
That didn't help.
Yep, did not help at all.
It's part of the allergies. It's like, yeah, we're gonna hit you with the dust cloud. There was a sinkhole that happened by my place, dude.
What? I didn't hear about this.
Dude, the city's falling in on itself, man. This is like the third one, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, people are like, the rumors are like it's bootlegger tunnels from back in the day.
Those have all been like cleared though. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I think we're just built on limestone and old farms, dude, and hopes and dreams. So
Yep.
You're gonna get some shit collapsing in.
How close to it?
I saw it almost happen, basically.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
I saw
4
a flash
blocks
flood
away
before. Like I'm like, that looks like that's gonna get pretty high, and then it got to like ridiculous. It was like probably I'm 6 foot. It got to about waist level of a flood, like just like this little like dip in the road, really. You know, then like the gutters clogging, it was just rain came too fast, and it was ridiculously big.
Yeah, I didn't even realize I saw the sinkhole happen until like a few days later when I read about it. I thought they were doing construction or something because I just saw like a brown cloud of like smog roll through, and I was like, I don't know what the hell that is. I just like closed my door and then like shut off the AC, and I was like, whatever. I went back in, and then like I was like, yeah, I think they're doing construction or something, or maybe it's like part of those fires, or I don't know. And then like I read about the sinkhole, and I was like, wait a minute, 2 days ago, sinkhole, smog. I think that was that sinkhole. Fuck.
Was this out like you could see it from your window, or?
Yeah, dude, like I saw the cloud rolling through, dude.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like literally, I just saw it, and I saw all the wildflowers out there just chilling in it, and I was like, man, I felt a little crazy because I was like, am I the only one seeing this? It's like they weren't moving or anything. I was like, I don't know. Then I was like, well, where would they go? You know? So,
Damn.
Yeah,
well, you know,
it's crazy.
That's nuts, man. Like for me, man, with life, like, you know, after Mother's Day and us being, you know, under the weather and all that, you know, I did get some game dev done, man. I did get some game dev done. I did what I've knew I had to at some point, but I decided to rip the Band-Aid off. I refactored all my code. So that was a 4-day process of doing everything. Yeah. So new IDE that GameMaker released that actually was, in the end, it's super helpful. Some of the variables that I made are now like built-in functions. So I switched things around and figured out how it worked within the engine. And I'm in a better spot, but I'm further back than before, but it'll help future me. You know? So sometimes
you gotta go slow to go fast.
Exactly. A lot of my pathing issues that I had are now fixed just simply from using the new IDE. So that's all of my workarounds that I was doing, which were probably just slow and incorrect anyway, right? Are now like streamlined and done.
This is the beautiful thing about programming and video game dev in general, is like there's like no 100% right way to do things. Like there's like bad ways and then better ways, but like as long as it gets done, that's really what matters. Like people aren't looking at the code at the end of the day. It's like, does the game work? Can you play it?
Exactly.
And then, you know, it's, I don't know. I think you can't get caught up too much in like writing like perfect code or anything. There's like perfect code is like what gets done the fastest.
True. But I don't know. You know, mine was just to make future development easier because I'm not having to work around my fixes. So, you know, so I think I did it well. Also, GameMaker released their new UI handler, so you can, much like Godot, just visually do the UI instead of doing it all through code. So that's
Yeah.
going to be much easier. I'm fine doing it all through code, but from just a design standpoint, just drag and dropping and visualizing just seems like the way to go. So I think doing that is also going to help me in the future too.
Yeah,
So,
I usually approach coding like probably the wrong way. Instead of like sitting down and like thinking through exactly what I want to get done, I usually start with what I want to get done, and then I do like command style. I don't know if you know about what it's like a command pattern. It's like this does exactly this. So like I'll make a thing that does exactly what I want the thing to do, and then I'll get all the things working as like a visual representation of, and like it works, but it's like all smoke and mirrors. It's basically like a PowerPoint where you're like, you can click the thing and the thing goes up or whatever. But like, if you want to change anything else later on, like you have to like redo specifically certain things to certain like scripts that I write. Like I'll write like basically like small scripts for each thing.
Okay.
But I usually go from there and then I refactor to be like, all right, can I make this more, versatile, like a better command or like a different pattern style that like lets you do like make it more modular, make it more like inputs and outputs for things. But then you can also go too far in that direction too, where it's like, all right, well now it can do fucking anything and it doesn't have to do everything. Like, so I don't know, there's like a sweet spot in between, but like usually I start like command, get everything up and running, get it working. And then I like refactor into like, all right, let's make this more modular. Let's make it like scalable. Let's make it reusable for like other things. It's usually like the reusability and modular part that like you can get off the rails with, because then it's like how abstract you want to make things, how like, So yeah, that's always kind of like a fun part. And then like you said, like you can spend like 3 or 4 days to get exactly what you already had on screen.
Yep.
You're like, all right, yeah, this is so much better. It like works exactly the same. And you're like, but it's better though. Trust me.
Yeah. No, you know what? You know how I know it's better though? So even when I had pathing and everything working, there were still some instances where like the pigs would get stuck on something. So, I mean, but I have the ability to click and drag, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's kind of, that's kind of a little sucky. But, with that, since I've refactored, pigs have not gotten stuck once. So, I haven't done the test that I did last time where I just left the game running overnight just to see. I'll probably do that tonight because I don't plan on being on the computer that long. So I'll just do that.
Now you're gonna get to the end point where you're like, I want them to actually get stuck on things again. So you have to like program in that behavior. Like, I want to just kind of be able to like, get stuck and then wait there for 5 seconds and then like, do a new state.
Well, I mean, with their behaviors, like they get hungry, they go to look for food, they look for other things.
At some point, you're gonna be like, I want them to be lost, like at a lost state where they're just like a stuck state. Like,
right. I did start adding in the predators as well, so that's where I am. So I maybe I told the pod, I don't remember actually, but foxes will show up periodically to try and eat the pigs. So that's been pretty fun. It's slow going, but I'm grinding away at it, man. You know how it is.
Just making the animal farms.
Yeah, exactly. Right. All pigs are created equal, but some pigs are more equal than others.
Dang,
shout out to the major.
With your works, bro.
So how about yourself, man? I haven't talked to you like in weeks, man. How's the ninja game? Have you done any progress? I know you've been sick and under the weather, but
zero progress on that. I've been watching TV. Just sitting around being sick and tired.
Yeah.
I watched some Apple TV shows. I don't have it. I got them on the high seas. I hoisted the Jolly Roger and hit the high seas.
Yeah.
I checked out the Severance that was recommended. I got 3 episodes in and I dropped it. I know it's amazing set design, great acting, good concept, and then just like really bad writing. Like it was like the second or third episode, might have been in the first, but they just like literally have like an exposition dump. And I'm just like, ooh, I don't trust these writers with anything else now. They're like in a car and he's like his sister and she's like, You've been so sad for 2 years now since your wife has
Yeah,
died, and you
yeah,
have been drinking a lot. Are you still going to therapy? Because I am now worried about you. And I'm like,
yeah,
what the fuck? It was like,
yeah,
and like,
yeah.
I don't know if that was like studio notes or something, or like a seed they
I
had to
think
add in.
so. That was in the. Oh man, we're gonna get into this episode. That was when he was in the waking moment, right?
Yeah,
Not at work.
the outer. Yeah,
So that's you don't know what's going on, right? So I think the
yeah,
exposition dump fit within the world, but I could see where you or even myself watching it, I was just like, ugh. But like in world with how like static and sterile everything is, it made it fit. I thought, but the thing knowing that Ben Stiller has a clear beginning and middle and end for the show, I'm okay with it. But some episodes are a slog for me as well.
yeah.
I'm assuming did Sir Solace recommend Severance for you as well?
No, no,
Okay,
some
okay,
other
so okay,
person,
okay,
a
gotcha.
third party, dude.
He loves it. Shout out to him.
Yeah,
Uh, but it's it. I think if you're not willing to kind of lose yourself into it, it's a hard watch.
yeah.
But
I just didn't
I'm enjoying it,
trust it.
but I can
I like
understand.
I like my sci-fi and fantasy to have rules as well. Like I didn't like
That
how
it has rules, but
they're not really explained, and then it seems to be that they break them. They're like, when the again, this is like spoilers kind of for episode one, but like the
but
lady
then I
wakes
mean, if
up.
you get further into the season though, you dropped after the third episode,
No,
they
no, this is
expand
just
upon it
like
more.
this is like fundamental problems with the world building, in my opinion. So I can see like the episode one, the lady wakes up in like the office, and then he has like 5 questions he has to ask her
Yep.
before she starts.
Yep.
And she's like, she doesn't know. It's like, what's the color of your mom's eyes? I don't know. But where'd you grow up? I don't know. Can you name like any state or something like that? And she's like, Delaware. So I don't know. So there's like things like that where like to remember like a place like Delaware, they still have language. But it's like, how do they remember language? Is it like vague, foggy memories, or do they just only have access to language but without the context of the language? And then they have like access to like uh, messianic figures, like they like talk about like Jesus and God and atheism, or like being Christian. And it's like, how do they know that though? And like if their memories have been kind of wiped and they have like no context of any of this stuff. So I don't know. It just felt like when you start like just to like go one layer deeper beyond like the film of it. And again, it's saved by brilliant acting and beautiful set design. Like you could just like, I don't know, if it was just like slightly better written, it just, I don't know. Like at one point they're like talking about like we could scare the other divisions by like, I could cut off your face and wear it as a mask and be terrifying. It's like, how would you know that would be a terrifying prospect for like other people? Like if you have like no concept of like horror or other like movies or cinema, or there's like so much contextual things that we take for granted that makes you who you are. And I don't know. And like I was listening to like some of the interviews, because like the show is like interesting enough where I was like, all right, let me see like what other people or the creators say about this. So I watched like a few interviews with the creators, and they're talking about like the actors were like, oh, I studied like my approach was like, oh, well, if this is like an 8 or 12-year-old, like going into the world. The other actress, she was like, oh, I just like study people who had amnesia and how they interact with the world. So it's like, I don't know, man. It just seemed like, again, like if they had like rules of like, all right, you have memories of things, but like it's all kind of fuzzy and like you don't remember specific people or places. Like at one point they're talking about like, the nature of their work and what they're doing. And the guy's like, oh, maybe we're cleaning up the sea because the world's gotten so bad up there. We need to, control little robots. It's like, all right, so you understand that there maybe it's like a climate catastrophe. You understand robots in the ocean. Like it doesn't make sense, right? As soon as you like start peeling back, it's like, how do you understand like bodies of
You're
landmass and
looking
geography?
you're looking at the show's concept too logically though. Just it's
Yeah,
at
but
the
it's
end
like
of the day, it's
again,
a
it's
show,
like
man. Just like
if I don't care what your premise is for, like if you have a magic system and you're like, oh, these wands can do anything. It's
they
like,
had
all
a
right, I'm
procedure
on.
that was done. You could say that the procedure is enough to cut out the specific memories and
Yeah,
do a layer of fuzz over the rest that may be pertinent to who they are or that can help them in the job. Like, but they don't need to like you yourself did not like the exposition dump on episode 3.
yeah.
They
Well,
didn't. They
it's
don't
all like,
exposition dump the procedure, and you're up in arms about it.
all it needs is, I don't know if you ever seen this movie, Thank You for Smoking.
Yep.
But at one point they're like talking about like, oh, you can't have people smoking in space because of the oxygen. He's like, oh, we'll just add in a line of dialogue like, oh, thanks to like the so-and-so air scrubbers, we can now smoke in space. Done. Like, you can give me like a hand wavy explanation and I'll go along for a lot of the ride. Like even like Star Trek with like replicators and like there's no real money, but like I just go along with it because it's an interesting premise with like interesting stories. But like you can't have like the core concept of being in outer space being like, how does this work? Be like, it just does.
Part
but
of the mystery of the show is the procedure as well, though.
Right.
So you learn more about it as you go on.
They showed, I just didn't trust, just because of the clunky exposition dump. I didn't believe I was in good hands with it, so I dropped it because of that.
Sure. I mean, it's going on. It's award winning for a reason too. Like I'm not.
Yeah, dude, it's beautiful and great acting, dude. Like again, like I think amazing aesthetically. It makes you ask questions and it generates conversation with other people about it. But like I don't know, I didn't trust like Lost or like Mystery Box style things. Like I don't trust.
What the Mystery Box show have you liked?
The Prisoner.
Wow, that's like going way. No, I know what it is. That's going way back. Wow.
Who are you? You know.
Yeah.
No, you're number 6. I'm not a number. I'm a free man. Like it's great. Dude. It's brilliant.
You always joke about how you're an old man and stuff, but you can't just bring up The Prisoner. I love that show.
Watch that. Like, if I had to recommend people a show, it's a good mystery box. Yeah, watch The Prisoner. It is the old school. It's on Amazon streaming, not sponsored. Like for me, I saw it there because I was looking to buy the box set of it because I had somebody else. I was like, man, I haven't seen Prisoner in a minute. Let me buy that.
The first season of Prison Break is still it's probably the perfect TV show I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was because it was supposed to only be one season.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's its own success, dude. Like DJ Khaled.
I loved the second season as well because they introduced the character Mahone, who was like an FBI guy who was searching for him, and he had like a pill popping addiction, which made it interesting. Yeah. And the second season was also dope. But the first season is like such a high bar. It's like Heroes season 1, right? Where like both shows were such a high bar that the only way to go from there is down. Yeah. So. But yeah, man, getting back to gaming, man, like
Heroes suffered from the writer's strike as well. That happened like during that.
Yep.
Same with like Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles, that first season, that's really good. Prison Break was great. Yeah, they had to like postpone, like I remember watching it like week to week live on the TV, and they had to like postpone like the final 3 episodes for like almost like 3 months or something to like reshoot it. They're like, we need to reshoot shit. This is too popular. We need to keep going.
Ridiculous, but yeah.
I also watched the studio. It's like Seth Rogen's joint. I watched the whole. I think there's only one season. It's like 10 episodes. Like I kept waiting for it to get good.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I
haven't watched it. I've heard the same thing though. Like everyone who says it, they're like, I think I like it. And I'm like,
I don't think I like it, dude. Like I just kept waiting for like it to get good. Like,
keep in mind, shows usually don't find their footing until the second season anyway. Second or third season is really the true test, but you have to make it there too.
It just, well, like it's just awful people and like. There's nobody really likable, like character wise, and so it's like, oh, they're having an emotional moment, but it's like I don't care about these people. Like they're actively bad people. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like if they get their comeuppance, I'm like good, and then I get angry if they don't actually get their comeuppance more. Like there's like one part where I don't know, they basically ripped off Anchorman where they throw a burrito in somebody's face and then they crash into a set. Like because they're arguing about something, and then like they like have HR looking into it, and they're like somebody's gonna get fired for this, but we think it was just an accident, and insurance wants to look into it.
Throwing a burrito,
or they're like, oh, maybe the guy who was driving it was eating it and like wasn't paying attention, blah blah blah. And then like the 2 people who are responsible are like, listen, let's just lie, and they're like, okay, but like at the point they're like, she's like running up to HR to be like pin the blame on this other dude who's an awful dude, and I'm like, yeah, good, take him down, fuck it. Like let it burn, dude. Like,
Gotcha. So, switching gears back to the gaming front, there's been some controversy.
Want to talk about? All right, yeah.
I just wanted to get your opinion on it.
There's always a controversy.
So, in our hiatus, an impromptu hiatus,
Man,
the
spill the beans, bro.
marathon beta happened
Oh yeah,
and
bungle, dude.
was not well received. And you're right, bungle is really what happened.
Dang.
So, I got into the beta. Sir
What'd you
Trike, our
think?
buddy, got into the beta. I thought potential is there,
So
but
looter shooter,
but
right?
no, it's an extraction shooter.
Okay,
The potential was there. It had good bones. The combat of the game felt great. The combat was
nice.
very fun. The
This was
loop,
fun.
however, was lacking quite a bit. But
Dang.
and a lot of people and the game Arc Raiders, their beta was going on at the same time, which is also an extraction shooter. And people who got into both betas just straight abandoned Marathon and went to Arc Raiders and were like, this is a much better game. Arc Raiders was also going
Fair.
to launch with a paid plan, like it's like $40, just like Marathon was going to be $40. And they came out recently and said, no, we're going to go free to play. It just seems better for this type of game. So
Sure.
not only did Arc Raiders steal Marathon's lunch in beta, but even before release, they flip gears and go, yeah, we're going free to play, baby. And it took its lunch even more. And on top of that, there was Bungie got caught for the third time stealing art from
All right.
people.
Dang.
So the person that they stole art from, Anti-Real, the lead art director for Bungie has been following them for years on social media platforms, and other employees of Bungie were following that same artist, and that person's art was
guy, but not too
lifted
close.
1-to-1 from all social media platforms and put into the game and in the beta. And then there's someone online just posted a bunch of comparison screens, and it's literally 1-to-1. So the Bungie came out and said, "Oh, this was done from someone who's been laid off, and we didn't catch it. Sorry, we'll make it right." Okay, I can believe that if your lead art director wasn't following the person.
Yeah,
I can
you didn't
believe that
recognize
if it
this.
wasn't your third time getting caught stealing art, and. And then they've been pushing back their live streams talking about the game. They pushed back additional play tests, and all reports of Bungie internally have been like, "Oh, this is a shit show." So,
Dang.
I just wanted your opinion on the art theater thievery, and just kind of
Chicanery and thievery.
what you would do
Scum and villainy
if your art was stolen. And by a AAA studio, because Anti-Real is not going to sue Bungie, even though she should.
Yeah.
But also, it's just like, okay, I'm going to spend a bunch of money going against their high-powered lawyers for, yes, I have a case, but do you want us to take the time? Which I can understand as just, a human being, right? So, what's your thoughts?
If I was a working girl, a professional artist at it, I would
I think working girl means something different in the context. I just want you to know that.
Artists, come on.
Horse.
Sorry. Yeah, dude, ask any artist, dude. They'll tell you, dude. They're like, yeah, you got to, you're basically trading your babies for money, dude. And
Sophie's Choice.
I've heard this as well from other professionals, for writing and stuff. There's a screenwriter I listened to, and he was like, yeah, my script basically got ripped off, and they didn't really change anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was explain, if you're going to sue, what you want to do is wait till they're about to release. They already got at least 60 mil in advertising, because then there's no pulling back if it's a key piece of it, or if it's the main thing. Then you want to go there and you want to hit arbitration with there's the Writers Guild of America. And then there's no real union like that for artists. There's no artists, creatives of America. So you'd have to go independently, and I'm sure you could talk with those people. I know there was for comic books, I want to say there's a nonprofit that all artists kind of support that you can go to. So maybe you could find something like that for video games, but I know they've been extremely anti-union and anti any sort of litigation. Most I'd ask for basically is some credit. I'd be like, yeah, it's fine. Don't do it again. Put my name on the credit, and then just make sure you're attributing me, and get the minimum, whatever that would be, is probably a couple $100, just to show that you have ownership of it. Technically you have ownership of anything you created once you create it
Oh,
in
there's no
America.
technicality for it. That's it. You do.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like legally, like
Yeah.
as soon as you put it out there and stuff, like technically
unless
you
you
but
do
then
it
there's
while
also,
working for a company and that's your specific
then they
job.
own everything.
That's and
even things outside of work.
The non-Western world, it's much harsher in that respect too. Yeah, like the Darker devs found that out.
I also say though too, like in a lot of the non-Western world, they also respect copyright a lot more as well though too. So it's like, sure, the rules are more stringent, like if you're like under contract or if you're working for somebody, but like if you're independent and somebody did this to you, dude, like you can destroy them like financially. So but like in America, it's like more fast and loose, and then there's a lot. It's way more expensive to litigate a lot of this stuff too, and it takes a long time. I was listening to somebody who was doing like a tort litigation. It was like clear evidence of like somebody interfering with his contract. Sure. And he was like publishing a comic book, and then like somebody from one of the big two like stepped in. They're like, "Hey, we don't want you distributing this book. It'd be a shame if like you couldn't carry our books anymore." Then like the distributor like cold feet, because then they like, he was like, "This guy had called me. This is another grown man," and he was crying about it. And I was like, "Hey man, don't worry about it." So you can like. And so then he went and sued like that person who interfered with his contract, and he spent about $200,000, 8 months. He crowdsourced like some of the money, and at the end of the day, he was just like, you know what, this isn't even worth pursuing. I'm putting my books out there. This was probably better publicity anyway for like people who could directly buy my book. Unfortunately, it's not going to get like wide distribution, but I probably made more now just direct sales than I would have anyway. But yeah, man. So it's a fucking nightmare, dude. Like the litigation, the legal system, even like video games. Like I know we've been sharing this back and forth a lot. People who post games on like itch.io or something
just
and
get straight stolen.
Getting their games like straight up stolen and like decompiled and like reopened up in like Unreal or Unity and then like redistributed by like weird Eastern Bloc countries where like the laws are a little looser, or they got nothing to lose, or they made a whole business model out of like just flipping other people's like IP.
So what do you think Bungie's response should be? They came out on Twitter saying, "We'll make it right." You're only making it right because he got caught. And that doesn't mean it because the entire aesthetic of the game is her art style. And you could argue, you can't copyright aesthetic, but when they have,
they did that for Borderlands
stuff,
as well.
Yeah, exactly. When they have her stuff and her entire like artistic profile is that style.
Yeah,
it's
Borderlands
like
completely was, dude. It was like nuts, dude.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think the proper thing? My thought is hire her on, give her a full salary, and do back pay of that, like however long you were developing the game, because there's got to be a timestamp on when you downloaded that file, right, or whatever,
or when they posted it.
Pay her from that point and until current, and then some parts of the game were a little like disjointed and like different assets and stuff were there. So
would you want to take that deal though? Like again, like as an artist, it's nice to get paid or whatever for your work. But also, again, now you're entering into a contract with them. And
she said she's unemployed.
Okay.
So if I'm unemployed, yes.
All right. So, but then it's like they own that plus anything else you've created within that time frame as well. Like it gets a little.
No.
It depends. Like if
you can work your contract.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. It's like, do you trust them though to like honor that agreement and stuff if they're already like being the sleazy like.
They would hire her on as a consultant more, right?
Yeah,
so then
that's what I'm
consultancy saying. Has like you work for that company for that period of time, but any of your own assets are any of your assets are yours to keep. Typically, I've worked with consultancy
so
places
any
before.
Which way they can get some. Yeah. If they can cut a deal like Office Space where she can just get paid to not do any work for them, that'd be great. You could get like 6 months of pay and a stapler, and then like not have to show up to work or anything, and then just like sorry about that. It's weird. It's like somebody stealing a kid from you. There's nothing you can really do to make it right, but there are laws, and you want some money, some sort of compensation, like right, like this legally, like there has to be some sort of a.
The best thing for her, I feel, is she has the court of public opinion on her side, and she wasn't the one who found it out. Other people were like, "Hey, this looks similar," and then she looked into it and was like, "What the hell? They just straight 1-to-1 stole my art." Yeah, and it blew up.
You could probably do like instead of like full litigation, you could go to arbitration, and that's way cheaper and way faster.
Yeah,
and if like it seems like both parties probably want this to just kind of go away and like get some sort of monetary compensation for this situation.
People are saying that this may be the straw that breaks the camel's back at Bungie and sink them. I think Sony just recently bought them, so they're not gonna shutter them completely. They still have the cash cow that is Destiny. But I think that this does have the potential to be Concord 2, you know?
Yeah, they're on Concord as well, right? Or like
no, they were not Concord. It was a different. No. It was Firewalk Studios or something like that. That was Concord. Yeah. I could be wrong about Firewalk, but it was a different studio. But
all right, damn, it's a big miss though.
It was a big miss. $400 million in the toilet. So, and then this one, probably around the same amount in the toilet. I will say that trailer they released, banger.
So the game was okay though, from what you played.
Marathon, yeah. Needed work. Definitely needed work. I don't think it would maintain like a community for that long if they release at its current state. But we'll see what they do. The
poison pill of like live service games is like you need people to justify putting the dollars behind it to make it, and then from a business standpoint, it's like, do we even want to improve this if people are still playing it? Right? It's like, or do we want to just make more things that make us more money?
Well, what sucks is they're reviving an IP that had such a story-rich world, and such intrigue.
They got rid of the story,
and the story's gone. Yeah. So that's the issue. But yeah, man.
Sony's not going to pay you to make like a story-rich, narrative-driven single-player experience in this day and age, right? Like,
no, they do. I mean, God of War, Last of Us. Astrobot was pure single player. Horizon, the 1 and 2 single player. So I think this was
left over from their last CEO, right? Whoever was in charge, because he did that Concord, and like he was basically like, we're going to do games as a live service model, and all of them started bombing. So then they replaced him with the new guy. So
was that Sony? I thought that was, that was Ubisoft. Sony, okay.
No, Ubisoft's also in a weird legal turmoils right now.
Yeah,
I know they're splitting up their company, and
they're not. There's rumors of that though. They haven't officially said.
They're doing what I have said to do as well, like on this podcast before. Is like if you own like a studio, separate your IPs from the studio, so like all that money goes into one bucket that's like legally protected as a different entity from you, and then like you can collect royalties on that.
How Hollywood makes movies. It's always a shell
we're always running at a loss.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly. 100%, dude. Like if you have like, because then it helps you as well. Like if you ever have to like piece up your business or something else, like it's not all under one giant umbrella entity. It's like these little nodes under a bigger like tree root. But yeah, it's just slight little tweaks. So they're doing some of that, and people are like, oh, this is it for them. They're trying to take money from Tencent, and it's China's buying them out, and it's like, it seems like they're shifting in such a way so that the board has less control over like their say.
That's something we should talk about next week, though. The Tencent versus the United States government. I think we'll go over that next week. But
dang, dude, we are not lawyers. It's not legal advice. Get your paper.
I just want to talk about it because that's a crazy thing. But that'll be next week. But for the Combo Wombo podcast, I'm Mr.
This is an
Gimpy.
investment advice. It's Chipmunk.
Like, share, subscribe. We back. We ain't leaving. Later.
We out. Peace.